Hey everyone, you're here with Mark Batwell at PerfectGardens.com. So today we got a great question from Marvin Turner, and he asks, can we use CalMag with the full Fox Farm line? Short answer is yes. Although after reading the question, it began to stimulate a few thoughts that I'd love to share with you. First off, let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like with the CalMag deficiency as it progresses in a leaf over time. Okay, as you can see here to the far left, the leaf looks pretty good. As you go from left to right, it begins to degrade. And so let me go ahead and explain to you what most of the time most growers go through as they see this problem. When they begin to see this, they see the tip burn normally. The reason why their eyes focus in most often than not on that tip burn is because that's the most common awareness. Okay, tip burn, I have to flush. And a lot of people, when they flush, they go out and they get reverse osmosis water, distilled water, or tap water. Each of those things have their own issues and problems, and let me explain. Magnesium is used to help complete enzyme reaction. So what that means is that if magnesium is not properly being uptaken in the environment, or there's a deficiency in the environment, what that's happening is the coenzyme that the minerals in the environment need to make it bioavailable or available to the plant isn't working. So basically you begin to have a shutdown in all of your minerals because magnesium's used for the actual reaction of the enzyme that makes those other minerals available. So a lot of times when people see the tip burn, they immediately go to flush the plant because they think it's tip burn, I'm over fertilizing, and they want to flush those minerals out. But because they haven't properly diagnosed the issue, they go in there and all they do is further the problem with mineral deficiency because you're having a enzyme reaction issue caused by the pH being off in some level or a deficiency in the magnesium in your environment, which is now causing a nutrient lockout. And so many people see that tip burn because a lot of times one nutrient might still be available because, again, we're giving synthetic nutrients. So at times you're bypassing the natural filtration of the plant in many levels. So what happens is you might see the plant very quickly might process some of the nutrients like synthetic nitrogen, although what's really happening is you're beginning to have nutrient lockout. And so by flushing the plants, as you could see, it ends up exacerbating the problem because flushing the minerals out of the environment, really what we need to be doing is unlocking the minerals in the environment, and a homeostasis begins to happen in the plant again. Okay, so as you can see, this leaf 2, 3, 4, and 5, what ends up happening is the plant begins to rob the mobile nutrients from the leaf, trying to fix itself because it has a nutrient lockout problem. So what's happening is the plant is robbing itself of food to sustain itself, and that's what you're seeing here is the leaf starting to lose color and it's beginning to die back. And obviously photosynthesis begins to break down, mainly because the chemical reaction needed with the minerals, the trace minerals specifically, is unable to happen in the plant anymore. So we talked about how this happened, a pH issue, and how to fix it. That's awesome. But why does this happen? I would love to explain two separate laws. First is Schaefer's Law of Tolerance. Schaefer's Law of Tolerance states that an organism's success is based on a complex set of conditions and that each organism has a certain minimum, maximum, and optimum environmental factor or combination of factors that determines its success. So what it's basically saying is that for everything out there, there is a minimum, a maximum, and an optimum level. The next law is Liebig's Law of Minimum. And as you can see right here, Liebig's barrel right here, with one of the wedges being lower than the rest, that the water is falling out, even though the rest of the wedges are filled and there's a few other ones that are taller than this one. The lowest one right here is the maximum of where the water can be retained in the barrel. And if you raise this wedge up higher, you'll be able to retain more water in the barrel. So what it basically is stating is that it's not the maximum amount of minerals in the environment that controls the situation. It's actually the minimum. And if you want to make your plant healthier, or you want the plant to uptake more stuff, you actually want to increase the mineral that is least in its environment than the ones that are in the macro. And so often we dump the NPK, but we're not looking at the trace minerals. And lo and behold, it's the trace minerals that are actually unlock more of the nutrients above it. So how do we run into a magnesium deficiency? Well, we're running into a magnesium deficiency because there are trace minerals in the environment is lacking, and which is causing everything else to unglued. And in the last couple of years, that reinforced it once again was when I started to get into commercial and industrial extraction for cannabis and hemp. What I learned through this process is that as you refine the THC or CBD or anything, it becomes an isolate. Well, you start off with this black, crude material, and then as you refine it, it begins to look much nicer, golden, because you're getting these impurities or chlorophyll or these other things out of the oil. But as you refine it more and more to its own isolate, it becomes a powder, becomes actually a crystalline structure. And so what's really interesting when you really begin to think about it is that when we dump in that NPK, what's happening is we're adding more isolate. We're adding more of that one mineral in the environment. And just like how we refine the oil down from a loose substance that everyone has realized now, the healthiest, highest quality oil is not the isolate, it's the full cannabinoid chain. You know, it's all of your terpenes, it's all of your cannabinoids, your full spectrum oil without the man-made chemicals like pesticides, fungicides. It ends up being your highest quality oil that you actually want. That's your highest health benefit. It's not the isolate.